Yo, what's up, YouTube? This is your boy Jay from Keeping It Real, your arbiter of gaming news and commentary, hitting you off with a studio production video where you know this is your channel, where all gamers' voices are heard. With your boy Jay, always dropping the word. Keeping them other gaming YouTubers like, what you heard? And where you always know, we always keep it all the way real. So what's up, everybody? I just want to thank you all for checking out my studio production video today. And man, this is gonna be another the real reason why episode, man. And this is one that got me really. This one's a little personal because, you know, it's about a little game called Destiny. And I mean, I know you guys, if you've been checking out my videos, I mean, and those who's been with me for a minute knows what's popping with me in Destiny. I'm a person that is, you know, started out from the beginning on Destiny and been grinding all the way through. So I'm a straight up Destiny veteran. So I know it very well. And it was a game that for me, I'm just wasn't feeling how Bungie was treating the Xbox community, and it's been one of those things where I would, you know, I want them just to come out and just announce the game as we all know it should be on the X. But this has been something they've been reluctant to do because of Sony and, you know, with Activision in the deal that they have. And I just think that that's kind of ridiculous when you really think about it. But what I'm going to do is dig into the real reason. There's been some recent controversy about HDR and what's going on with that. And it doesn't look like it's actually, they just come out and said that they're not supporting the X initially. And this is coming from Mark about they're just not going to support it initially when it comes to the X. You know, and they're talking about the support being confirmed when the game launches, that for HDR. So my thing is that digging into the details, it doesn't look like it's going to be HDR on no platform. That's including the PS4. But the thing is a lot of folks are asking right now, like, are they gonna are they gonna do the support for the X when it comes to HDR in 4K or what? And yeah, man, I want to dig into some of the real reasons of why they're just not doing it. So if you really think about it, digging into the real reason of why Sony is really not even talking about HDR on the X is, you got to understand, as soon as they speak about or announce HDR on the X, I'm talking about the S as well, then that opens up a lot of questions about, okay, well then a lot of assumptions are made about the X that, yeah, it should get HDR as well, and it's going to probably get 4K. See, they don't want to go down that rabbit hole. They don't want to go down that path because at this point, they've made it a point to just not say anything about the X right now. And the real reason why that's happening is because look how it's stacked up right now. You have the real reason why that's happening is because of Sony. Okay, so Sony is as insecure and pathetic as they really are. This is the type of dirty, low down, dirty tactics that they do. Think about how they have this set up. They have Destiny where they have it already that they have a year. It ain't enough to have a year exclusive content. You know what I mean? Ain't enough to have a bigger install base. You know what I mean? Ain't enough to have it announced for your mid-gen console that it's gonna have 4K and and it's gonna have 4K and HDR. That's not enough. You still gotta say, okay, we want to make it where you don't say anything about the X until it actually launches. That's the only time we're gonna talk about it. You know, you can't say anything about it now. You know, because they want to give themselves the edge for those 2 months when it comes, because they know they're completely and utterly inferior and they're outclassed by the One X. So they wanted that's how pathetic and how really insecure they really are, that they have to try to make it to where they don't want Bungie to say anything, because anything that Bungie says will be better than the Pro. You know what I mean? It's like, it's anything that they announce for the X, it's already going to be immediately assumed it's better than the Pro, just by default, you know. So they don't want that. So they want to cast doubt and you know, in people's minds and gamers' minds especially, that it may or may not get it. So let me just go ahead and get it on the PlayStation, because I guess it's going to be best there, because the X, we don't know if it may or may not get it. And that's all that's about. It's all just a PR stunt to try to give Sony enough time. And that's all it comes down to. And I mean, you know, in my personal opinion, that's a dirty ass tactic, and it's crummy, and it's low down, and it's really just, okay, you guys are that pathetic and insecure, really? I mean, you know, they come out talking about they're not worried about Microsoft and their real competitors, PC. They have all these, you know, they have all these things where they're acting like they're so tough. But then when it comes to the X, you know, they're petrified, because this is the type of tactics that they're doing. So, but that tells you just how pathetic they are as a company, and this is the reason why, you know, I don't mess with Sony like that. The reason why I'm not cool with Sony, because these type of scandalous, freaking, you know, pathetic little tactics that they pull time and time again. And anyone who defends anything like that, you're just as pathetic. So, I mean, that is what it is. And that's really the real reason why they're not doing it. Now, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. So, the thing is that you gotta think about it this way. For Microsoft, I know there's a lot of questions about, well, why isn't you know, Phil being more upset about this? Why is he not jumping in and being more vocal about this? You got to think about it from his standpoint. Phil ain't tripping. You know why? Because he realized, for him, it's going to be on PC for the first time. A crap load of people are going to buy it on PC, you know? So he wins either way, because they also, they have Windows. They get paid off of the PC versions of it as well as the Xbox versions of it. So they're having it both ways. So they ain't tripping either way, because whether you buy it on the Xbox or whether you buy it on PC, they win. And most people, a lot of people will probably be going over to PC, because obviously with the frame rate, especially, they're digging that frame rate. They want it to be 60 and above. So that they're going to, and also with all the best visuals. So they're going to just be going to PC, right? Anybody who wants the best, PC still the place to be. If you're on PC, of course, that leaves a lot of the console guys who wants the best out in the cold, at least for those 2 months before the X comes out. But you know, that's what it is when it comes to Microsoft. I mean, you know, that's why you don't really see Phil tripping about it, because he's going to have it both ways. So now the thing is that once the X releases, it's a simple thing, man. All they're going to simply do, remember, it's already going to be on Windows platform. They're just simply going to port the PC version of the game of Destiny 2 over to the X. But it's not like Bungie's going to tell you that right now. You know what I mean? Because if Bungie says anything like that right now, obviously that's gonna marginalize the Pro big time. The Pro is already marginalized. So Bungie coming out and saying that, yeah, you could get a lot of people sitting around and waiting for the X even more so, because it's gonna now be confirmed that, yeah, of course the X is gonna be the best console version. And of course Sony wants to marginalize that as much as possible. You know, they want to limit that risk as much as possible, and that's what it comes down to. The thing is that, you know, with the PC version already there, all they would do is just port over the PC version to the X. It's just, you're going to get everything pretty much you would get in the PC version, except for, of course, the unlocked frame rate. You know, but that's pretty much what the X, if you're wondering what the X version could be like, that's pretty much what it is going to be. But it's not like, you know, Sony wants Bungie to come out and say that right now, you know, because that would seriously marginalize the Pro even more so than it already is. And that would, you know, a lot of people would be more inclined to feel, well, I'll just wait around to the X version. But here's the thing. The thing is, what's sad about this is that the fact about this is that most people still, even if they confirmed it for the X, that's what it's going to be, a lot of the people who are going to get it on PlayStation still would have got it on PlayStation anyway. You know what I mean? I don't think that would have really changed a whole lot. You know, Destiny is not a game that is really so associated with the Xbox anyway, aside from a lot of the people who played Destiny 1. And people who play Destiny 1 on Xbox, 9 times out of 10, they're just going to be buying it on the Xbox again. You know what I mean? Because all their friends are on Xbox. So they're usually not going to be like, oh, well, I'm going to decide now to get it on PlayStation. Like, no, I don't think so. Me personally, I wouldn't even, it's not even a thought in my mind to ever get Destiny if I was going to ever get Destiny on PlayStation, because all my friends are on Xbox. So for Destiny's a really type of game that is really friend oriented. Like, you know, you usually play it with your friends and family. That's really the only reason why I even kept playing it. You know what I mean? So, and that's the reason why it's appealing to me, because it's a game that my son, my daughters like to play. It's a game that, you know, my family likes to play just in general. And I have friends on there that I've known for years playing Destiny. You know what I mean? Destiny 1. So it would really be for them, you know, not so much just for me. I've kind of like moved on when it comes to FPS genre. I'm more on stuff like you know, Anthem. Anthem to me is that new generation of FPS that's going to be doing something new and fresh and different, and that I'm really excited for. That's something more for me that I'm excited for, a game like that. But yeah, so the thing is about it is, it's kind of sad, because the fact is Sony didn't even have to take it that far and do all that and be that damn insecure. But that tells you just how insecure they really are. They didn't have to do all that. They could have just kept it simple, and just, you know, people would have already just got it for the PS4 if they were already going to get it on a PS4, because most likely all their friends are on a PS4. So they're so petrified of the X that people are just going to drop the PS. It's the same thing with this crossplay. They're so petrified that people, because you got to understand, you got to look at it from Sony's point of view. They don't really have much else. You know what I mean? They got to hold on to the PS4 image, that they have this lead, and that you know, and this market share that they have. They got to hold on to that as long as possible, because it's not like as a company they have much else. You know, Microsoft is a huge company. Microsoft is in the league with Google and, you know, all these other, you know, really big Fortune you know, $billion Fortune 500 companies and corporations. And Sony's not on that tier. They're not on that level. And they have to do whatever. I get where it is from them as a company. That's why they do these dirty low tactics, because it's not like, you know, they can do things fair. You know, they don't really just have the product to do things fair. So they have to use these shady and dirty tactics. And this is the reason why they do, because it's kind of like guerrilla you know, warfare. Well, why do you see guerrilla warfare? You see guerrilla warfare because it's not like they could fight you head on straight up, because they don't have the numbers and they don't have the resources to do that. So what do? They resort to guerrilla warfare tactics, you know, to beat you, because they can't beat you straight up because they're not strong enough. You know, they're too weak to come at you straight up, so they'll just get you in the back when you're not looking. You know, it's the same type of tactics. These are the same things that's been going on for thousands of years, and it's going to continue to go on. And it's just all part of the game. You know, it's all part of how, you know, you work when it comes to tactics. And this is what Sony is doing, because they have no other means to do it any other way. They've always been outclassed, even from the beginning. And this is their tactic to try to leverage things in their way for them to win, because it's not like they can do it on a fair basis, you know, and straight up. And that's just the truth. You know, a lot of people may not like the truth, but, you know, here, this channel ain't called Keep It Real for nothing. That's the truth. The fact is, that's what it comes down to. This is the reason why they have to resort to such tactics, because they really don't have the means to do things straight up. So this is the stuff that they do. They do backroom deals behind the scenes and then lie about it. And then, you know, you try to call them out. Of course, they deny it. But this is the type of stuff that they do. So it's no surprise when it comes to Sony. It's more or less, for me, you know, it's Bungie and Activision. I really blame more so Activision for this, because of course Activision is the one taking the money from Sony, and Bungie, they're kind of like stuck in the middle. So I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, man, I wanted to go through the real reason of why this is happening, and break down what it's gonna really come to when it comes to the X. I think ultimately the X will get 4K and it will get HDR. It's just that they don't really feel the urgency to say it right now, because obviously the X comes out 2 months later. So why should they, Sony and feel like, well, shoot, we're gonna keep this a secret as long as we can, and that's what it comes down to. So yeah, if anybody's wondering, or upset about this, yeah, it's something to still be upset about. I mean, you remember what happened with Assassin's Creed Unity, when they were talking about all this no parity, hashtag no parity. All the Sony fanboys got all up in the uproar talking about no parity. But we're gonna see what they're gonna be doing for the next 2 months when it comes to this. Is it gonna be much of an uproar in the gaming media? Or, because I know a lot of Xbox guys are going to be really upset about this. But like I said, it's not, at the end of the day, the X will get pretty much the PC version of the game. So I don't think that's going to be a thing. And from there, it's just going to come down to, what it would have already came down to. I mean, I think when people get it on the X, I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of people who are really honestly going to be sitting around waiting for 2 months to get it on the X, unless you were already just going to have it on the Xbox anyway. You know what I mean? Like, I doubt there's going to be people who would have got it on a PlayStation, but they're like, let me sit around and wait 2 months because I just want to see what it looks like on the X. I don't really think that's so much of a thing. Yeah, obviously, yeah, X is going to offer the best quality, even if it is parity. The X is still going to look better, hands down. Even if it's parity between the X and the Pro, the X is 4K, or if they did 4K dynamic, it's obviously going to still look better on the X. And any HDR that's on the X is going to still look better than the Pro, hands down, because it's just simply better hardware that the game is running on. So it's still going to look better. But I don't think that's going to turn anybody who was going to get it for the PlayStation, they're going to sit around and wait for Destiny for 2 months. I just don't think so. Now, see, me personally, I can get that for guys who are Xbox guys. Yeah, they may get it on originally on the S, play it on the S, and then when the X come out, get the X, and then have more enhanced visuals and be happy with that. But I don't think anyone who's on the fence about it is just going to be like, yeah, I'm going to wait 2 months for the X. Yeah, of course, there's some people that are going to do that, but there's not very many. I don't think it's a sizable number where it's going to really make much of a difference. So I just think what Sony's doing is just really this is ridiculous. They're just overkill at this point. They don't even have to do that, but they're just doing it. It shows you just how insecure they really are, that they're really doing that. Because it's the same thing they're doing with crossplay. They're going beyond, what they really need to do, just because they're so petrified that people are going to walk away from their crappy platform. You know what I mean? Like, that tells you just how pathetic they really are, man. It's like, I mean, if you're confident in your platform, you wouldn't care about that. It wouldn't matter. You know what I mean? Because you would know you're where it's at. But they know they're not where it's at. They know they're anti-consumer. They know they don't update their UI. They don't update their network. All these things are problems that they know, but they want to claim that, they want to still act like they're the place where gamers play. And the sad thing is, I just feel sorry for a lot of the guys who are fanboys of Sony, because you're getting taken up for a ride and you don't even know it. And you might want to just wake the hell up, but I digress. So yeah, man, that's what it comes down to when it comes to this. That's the real reason. I mean, this has been a bit of a rant, but I just had to get this stuff off my chest. It's really annoying. And any of you guys are upset about it, just realize that, we always have Anthem to look forward to. Really, honestly, Destiny's not a game I don't really care about anymore. I'm done and over it, because they're doing this game and they're basically doing the same thing. It's built on the same premise of the same grindy type of things, same type of enemies. Everything are reskins of the same enemy. And if you look at the game, if you really play Destiny, you would see it's all the same. Just with you know, they just remasked everything and added in some more story and called it a day. There are some little new things that they're doing to innovate, but they're just not innovating enough. And I think that's obvious with them not having dedicated servers and not having 60 frames per second. It's like a lot of technical stuff that this is 2017. You should by now be doing, especially being a AAA, you know, big title like they are. You would think they would invest into making sure there were 60 frames per second and making sure they had dedicated servers, but they're not doing that. You know what I mean? So that alone for a lot of guys is a deal breaker. I mean, that's a huge thing, but I don't want to get into all of that. That's not what this video is necessarily about. But yeah, man, so I'm gonna end it right there, man. I want you guys to go ahead and hit me in the comment box, tell me what you think, man. Make sure, you know, if you dig my content, like, share, subscribe. You know, if you're not a part of the Keep It Real family, man, until the next time. This is Jay. I'm always keeping it real, and I'm gone.